Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt, and welcome back to Farlands or Bust. Woof. No, we didn't have to wait as long this episode for Wolfie to bark. It was quite a long duration in the last one, but we are going to get right started right off the bat here, and we're also going to get right started with the piano music from your very own C418. Actually, Wolfie's also gonna get right to receiving a treat to get his health up. And continuing west, check out this efficient forward movement at the beginning here of episode 530 of Farlands or Bust. Efficient, so efficient that I took like 3 different tries to get up those 3 different steps right there. But yeah, episode 530, starting off with some traction here on a Tuesday, November 17th, 2015. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? We will be requiring some wool at some point in the future here, so let's remember to shear some sheep. And let's also remember to go to farlandsorbust.com to donate to Child's Play charity using the donation button, donation widget tracker thingamabob right there on the home page. We are currently at $9,337.11. It's kind of elite number. The 337. It's more of a league or something like that. What's an upside down 6 looks like? Actually nothing. It looks like nothing. Yeah, maybe a G, an uppercase G if you accidentally connect it. Oh, alrighty then. Well, we were up and running here on this episode pretty quickly, but we're tripping over ourselves here. We're trying to move so fast. Is Wolfie with us? Yeah, he is. So yeah, farlandsorbust.com. Donate directly to Child's Play charity. And wait a minute, that looks like something that was dug. That's weird. Like, doesn't it not look like somebody made a hidey hole here? Who dig? Who dig here? Who doth dig through the ground in this particular location? But yeah, childsplaycharity.org is where you can learn specifically about Child's Play Charity and what they do. Wow! Look at all these wolves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is either the maximum pack you can find, or it's 2 packs that just happen to spawn next to each other. 8 wolves! 9 if you count Wolfie, I suppose, although he's tamed. He's been tamed. People have been asking, the 3D glasses on Wolfie is part of a texture pack. I'm using a very slightly, ever so gingerly modified texture pack. Pretty much using all the default textures, less tamed wolves. We'll get the 3D glasses and the blue collar as opposed to the standard red collar in this version of the game. This version of the game didn't allow you to dye the collars. Also, you know, added stuff like the background that says Farlands or Bust and stuff on my inventory screen, and the different... I enjoyed the autumn colors in the trees, so that's part of the texture pack as well. The beds that say Flob, you know, little changes here, made by Axis One on YouTube. Not sure if they're continuing to be updated. I think the last update was for like 1.5 or something that he made for the Farlands or Bust texture pack, so I do appreciate that, and we've been using it for, I think, since Season 1. So yeah, I've seen a few questions in the last few videos where somebody was wondering how I got 3D glasses on my dog. Just a texture pack. Just a texture pack. And this is just a big body of water, so we will just take a hop and a little ride on a boat here as we continue on. As we continue on, indeed. Still sick. Sickness update 2015. Still sick. This is a long and lingering illness. You'll have to let me know. People said that the last episode, Sunday's episode, I sounded even worse. I feel a little bit better. I have been, the last 2 nights, I did get myself a nighttime cough-specific syrup, because I was finding I was coughing a lot, trying to fall asleep, and that prevented me from falling asleep. So, 2 birds, 1 stone. Cough syrup, nighttime, knocks you out, 10% alcohol, woo! And the problem is, and the problem I've had with other sleep aids or whatever is I don't know however many of you have used sleep aids or melatonin or or NyQuil sort of situations. Yeah, you knock out, and you knock out like craziness, and you don't wake up. But then when you do wake up and you start the next day, you don't feel as though you've gotten the benefits of a full night's sleep. At least me personally. I suppose it depends on how you react to sleep aids or whatever. But it doesn't feel like you're the one who slept. You just wake up in this grogginess. I'm assuming because it is like an artificial sleep, you don't necessarily, maybe you don't get your full-on REM sleep that you normally would. It's just a drug-induced sleep, I suppose. So wake up and just groggily. So last night I just took like half a dose as opposed to a full dose. Felt a little bit better, but I do tend to wake up and like my nose is stuffy and I'm coughing up a lung and I'm like, oh God, the cold has gotten worse. What have I done? Things are getting worse and worse and worse. But then once I get through that first moment of clearing, I suppose I can call it, I feel okay-ish, but still, God, this just... It will not die. It will not die. It's not particularly bad, knock on wood, but it's not particularly going away either. It just seems to be a constant. We've gone up in the bell curve of sickness, and we've plateaued and are just remaining at a constant state of annoyance and discomfort. So you'll have to let me know how the voice sounds comparatively. We'll have to test out how the snoring sounds, I suppose. But good gravy. I am tired of this. I am tired of this. I want to get back to work. I just recorded some Forza. I'm a little bit wishy-washy on whether or not it was good commentary, because I didn't feel like I was 100%, just like the stuff we recorded for Formula 1. I'm like, I wasn't talking enough. Cone Dodger kindly seemed to have taken up the reins of commentary to fill in the blank spaces, the blank spaces that were more prevalent than normal with me, which kind of stinks because I felt like I was getting into the swing of things with that series as well. I was getting into the swing of things with a lot of series. Then I went and did this silly charity marathon thing, raised $200,000 with the Mindcrack crew, and look at the thanks I get. I'm screwed. Get screwed, I say. So yeah, hopefully things get a little bit better. I'm also, I'm not going to share any details, but I do have family back at home stuff that is happening that's not necessarily good stuff, but it may require me to travel stuff for particular reasons, which is also going to obviously put a hamper in the continued momentum that I was hoping to maintain and carry through to the new year here on the Farlander's Bus channel, but that's as much as I'm going to say about that at the moment. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, you guys still have been donating to Child's Play charity at farlandersbus.com and giving your questions with those donations. So I've got a list of those here, so I think we can get through those. Well, we won't get through them, but we'll get through a few of them at least in this episode. If I can't think of anything else to mention, I don't think so. So yeah, let's just jump right into those. Dave, Nick, and Jack, who have been watching since May of 2012. Thank you so much for sticking around for so long. Why? No. But Dave, Nick, and Jack ask, were you ever a fan, or did you ever see... Hello, saplings falling from the sky. Did you ever see the British sci-fi sitcom Red Dwarf? I heard of it. I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. I've never watched it or anything like that. So I don't really even know what it's about. I'm assuming it's kind of one of those space sci-fi sequential shows, you know, like your Star Treks or your Serenities or whatever. Or not Serenity, it was called Firefly, or no, it was called Serenity, wasn't it? The movie was called Firefly, or was it the other way around? Either way, you know, one of those type of things, I think. But yeah, so I've heard of it. I'm sure if you like showed me like a picture of whatever was going on, that I might recognize it. I wouldn't be able to tell you the name right off the top of the head, but Yeah, heard of it, but never watched it. Never got into, like, television sci-fi too much. Never watched the Star Trek shows, Voyager, or whatever any of the other ones were. Never got into anything really quite like that. Again, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this before. I'm pretty sure it's just because friends and family were never really into it, so there was really never any bridge for me to cross to even get into that sort of stuff. But anyway, speaking of bridges to cross, I don't think we really have any to do here in Farlander Bus because I'm not building anything. But we'll boat our way across bodies of water and continue in the morning. Oh, and awakeness. And awakeness indeed. How does the snoring sound? Any better? Any worse? The fidelity any different? But yeah, thank you, Dave, Nick, and Jack for like I said, donating to Child's Play charity and for watching so long. I do appreciate it. Alyssa from Tejas, better known as Texas, asks, I've wanted to make a YouTube channel for at least a year now and have kept procrastinating. Whoops, I know you went through a similar process before you made your channel, and I was wondering what the turning point was. I don't know that there was a turning point. God, there was a long time where I was planning on making a new channel, and I couldn't come up with a new name, like all the names I wanted to choose. I don't even remember what any of them are, were like already taken or whatever. And I didn't want to be one of these channels with like called something 11468 or whatever, you know. So I just stuck with Kurt J. Mac, which is a slight regret of mine, but perhaps could have used something a little bit more catchy or marketable. But I don't know that there was any specific turning point. It was a bit out of boredom for my personal job situation going on. I didn't ever anticipate, or never was my goal to make it a job, but just like a hobby to do. So yeah, I don't know what about March 2011 made me decide as a turning point to start making them. I did try to like record some. I had just a little really crummy microphone, just a standalone microphone that like came with an old Dell computer that I plugged in and tried to record. It wasn't even on like a headset or anything. It was just a desktop little tweensy microphone. And I tried to record with like the free version of Fraps, but the audio was really crappy. So it was about then that I decided, you know, the step that I took that said I'm going to start making these videos was I went and purchased that Razer Karakashash or whatever the heck it was called, microphone headset, gaming headset thing. And decided, you know, upon plugging that in, that I was going to start making videos. So I don't know that there was anything that triggered that. Maybe it was on sale or something. That seems like me, to wait for a sale to buy something, and I bought it. And simply having that was like, okay, I have that. I bought a copy of Fraps, and I think I'm just ready to go. So yeah, I don't know that there was any specific turning point. You know, there was no, you know, nobody asked, you know, there's no like, you know, some people maybe start uploading videos because, oh, there's some contest, upload a video, blah, 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 to get entered into this contest. No, I just started making with the videos. Of course, the story that most of you may know is that I actually recorded an episode by launching. If you go back and look at episode 1 of this series, I launched, you know, straight from the menu screen, launch a brand new world and start the series on a brand new world. I actually did that once before, and I got an amazing spawn in this huge canyon, and I turn around, there's this huge cliff face, and it's amazing spawn. And being new to recording and not knowing that much about the headset, I didn't have the right audio input selected, and I didn't record any of my microphone audio. So I had to scrap that recording, and consequently I had to scrap that world because I wanted to start from a fresh world. That world ended up being the Combat Canyon world that I turned into, And then, of course, the second try for the recording turned out to be the Farlander Bust World. So a lot of you probably already know that. I mentioned that many times, but imagine how different it could have been had we actually properly recorded that first video. And, oops, that's wrong. That's not what I wanted to do at all. I wanted to get in the boat. And, maybe, I said, I still think maybe I probably would have decided to do the Farlander Bust thing. Because it was about the time I started that Notch published the Farlands, little blog post about the Farlands and terrain generation. But maybe since the Combat Canyon spawn area was so amazing and had all these amazing mountains and canyons, obviously, maybe I wouldn't have been tempted to leave on a grand journey. Maybe I would have stuck around and things would have been completely different. Doubtful, honestly, kind of doubtful, but you never know. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know if there was anything that, like, there was maybe a little bit of procrastination. Like I said, I had been watching Let's Plays. I learned about Minecraft through Let's Plays for at least a year or more before that. It was probably just a lack of entrepreneurial spirit that I didn't think to take that next step until a year and a half, 2 years later, to start making videos myself. But yeah, I mean, it just takes doing, really. It just takes sitting down and doing. I mean, look at a lot just today, Monday, for me. Anders had his 6-year. I didn't know he'd been doing it for that long. He had his 6-year YouTube anniversary, and he actually went back and looked at some of his first videos, and he's like, "Ugh, so terrible." So yeah, just look back at a lot of other people's first videos. My channel. Look at Goods or BOOs or anybody really. Look at the first episode of David X's Adventures in Minecraft. It's all kind of in perspective. If you try to start making videos and you compare yourself to, say, the Yogscast now or whatever, you're going to have a bad time. So it just takes doing, just like anything. I want to start journaling. I want to start keeping a journal. Well, just start, open up a page and just write. It doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be a novel. Doesn't have to be anything specific or funny or interesting. Just write words down on the page. Same thing with making videos. Just hit that record button and start talking. And start playing games. And, of course, the more important step with uploading YouTube videos would be to upload them to YouTube and make them public. But yeah. I don't know. I'm a pretty big procrastinator myself as far as certain things are concerned. I can't quite say I've got any sort of tricks or hints on how to overcome that, because I haven't quite overcome that myself either. But, yeah, I guess just doing it is what'll get you started there. So good luck. Hopefully it's something you enjoy doing. Obviously, if you try it and you don't enjoy doing it, then there's no need to force it or anything like that. If you're just doing it for fun. But yeah. Speaking of amazing canyons and stuff, we're getting a lot of crazy monuments and areas lately. I don't know if that's indicative of anything or just random crazy Minecraft Beta 173 terrain generation that we're experiencing. But that is pretty awesome. So we're going to take a little bit of a left-hand turn here to try to get into the brunt of that. Alley-oop. Oh, God. Careful, Wolfie. Careful. Careful, I say. Got a question, speaking of 7s and 3s, from J773. A little bit different from our current Child's Play charity number of 9337. But J773... Did you have any favorite coin-op game when you were growing up? Coin-operated game? I'm assuming you mean coin-operated, like arcade game, and you're not accidentally misspelling co-op game. Coin-operated game when you were growing up, and what was the first one that you played? I can't remember the first one that I played. I didn't spend much, if any, time at arcades. I do remember once a friend, for their birthday party, rented out an entire arcade in the mall. I don't even remember what it was called or whatever. But from that, then you get, unlimited plays on a certain amount of games and Battletoads. No, not Battletoads, I'm sorry. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game, which I think was a direct port of the Nintendo game or the early console game or vice versa or whatever. I remember, there were 4 of us, and since we had unlimited, the coin operation part was disabled, so we could just restart as many times as possible. We actually went through and beat that entirely from the beginning, right there in the arcade, as the really crappy pizza was being delivered, So I remember that. That's probably the most fun I've had on an arcade, is actually beating the game from the get-go. But yeah, I never did not spend that much time. I really like pinball games. Pinball machines and stuff are always fun to me. Little physics type things, and learn the little tricks of like being able to hold the ball with the flapper if you can get the right angle and get the ball to stop right there on the where the what's that thing called? Where the joint, not the joint. I'm thinking of like a human joint. You know what I mean? Where the little connection is for the flapper. I don't know if there's a term for that. I know there's like super duper professional pinball players and stuff that probably have their own techniques, but I always like pinball. But yeah, no, I didn't spend that much time in arcades or whatever. And of course now there are these big kind of GameStops and these other not GameStops, Game Zone, that have whole restaurants and bars, and you get little swipe cards that you play for 2 hours. You can play for 2 hours with this much in the swipe card, and they've got all these arcade games or whatever you can play with a full bar, and I think that's kind of where the Mindcrack party took place in London, wasn't it? One of those game. It's not GameStop. That's the store. I'm thinking of Game Zone Game. Fred and Buster's, Frank and Buster's, Buck and Buster's, one of those. Well, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I was never huge into those. Never a big, didn't spend my time at the bowling alleys playing in the arcade section or whatever. Air hockey was always interesting. But anyway, thanks for that donation and the question. Let's go to sleep and continue in the morning. And a burning zombiness. Ooh, and I apparently allowed for some creepers to spawn-ness as well. Must be careful going forward here. Right, Wolfie? Right. Bitterlie has asked, I heard about how much you hate shopping at Walmart. Do you shop at Sam's Club? If so, would you stop shopping there if I told you... Oh, conspiracy theories. If I told you that both Walmart and Sam's Club were owned by the same company. Les gasp. No, I knew that. I'm pretty sure everybody knows that. They're always right next to each other. There's never a Sam's Club unless there's like a Walmart right next to it. But yeah, I was aware of that. But no, I don't shop at any of the bulk stores. Why would I need so much mayonnaise or toilet paper or anything? So yeah, no, I don't belong to any of those club stores, your Sam's Clubs, your Costco's or anything. Although I hear some good things about Costco, about the way they treat their employees and certain policies they have, I think. But I have no personal economic reason to be shopping at big box stores. And yes, I was aware that Sam's Club is owned by Walmart. Did you know that Chipotle was once owned by McDonald's? Oh! They just owned the majority of the shares, and they've sold them since. So Chipotle is not owned by McDonald's anymore. Everybody calm down. Calm down, I say. Did you know that Twitch is owned by Amazon? Oh, man. But, yeah, all right. Thank you for the tip there. I don't know if perhaps you've shocked and amazed some people in the audience, but I shop at Sam's Club all the time. Are you telling me all this time I've been supporting Walmart? Indeed. Indeed you have. Oh, that's pretty funny. Indeed. Here we go. This is a question we've not gotten before. I'm fairly certain. Herman asks, have you ever been to a sauna? If so, what kind of sauna was it? No. Oh, I'm dying. Dying in the sauna. I could use a sauna right now. I'll just go in there fully clothed, but I need some moisture, some humidity to inhale and moisten my innards, my lung places to get rid of whatever's going on in there. But no, I've never been to a sauna. I don't think that's really a place I want to be. Not really the most comfortable of situations to find yourself in. Clad in nothing but a towel, in a very hot room, sweating profusely, with a bunch of other strangers. Not somewhere you're gonna find old social anxiety Kurt J. Mac. But, nope, never been in a sauna. I think probably the closest... Ooh, that's going places. That is going places! Look at it go! Go places, little waterfall. Go places. Aw, you stopped going places. That's a shame. I did go to... My mom worked at a hospital, and they, for the family, had free access to the exercise place. What are those things called? Gym! They're called gyms. And it was kind of a fancy-ish, newer one, and they had the very big, deja vu-ish, a little bit of deja vu here, back to the first F3 monument, to the Fist of Notch, kind of, little bit, not so much though. Sorry, distractions. Got, you know, the locker room there. There was like a big screen TV and couches and some very, I suppose, people who were very comfortable with themselves would just gallivant around in the buff and watch TV on the couches before and or after their workouts. And there were saunas in there and hot tubs and whatever, but I did not partake. I went for the treadmills. That was the vast majority of my exercise regimen at a gym. But no, never been to a sauna, I'm afraid, and I don't really plan to. Similarly, another question that I'm pretty sure hasn't been asked from Herman here. Have you ever been to a massage or similar spa-like treatment, mud bath, facial, etc.? No. No, I have not. The idea of strangers placing their hands upon me is not one that I really tend to subscribe to. So no, I have never been to any sort of massage type situation or spa or anything like that. I've raced digitally at Spa, the racetrack, but no, never been to a spa. Not something I think I'd be very, very comfortable with at all. I think I can go the rest of my life without getting any sort of professional massage or spa treatments of any kind, if I do declare. I know some people who swear by them or think they're amazing, or, oh, I thought that at first that it would be weird and creepy, but it's great, or whatever, but no. I'll take your word for it. Enjoy yourself. I'll get you a gift card for Christmas, but no thank you. I will be not doing such things as those. But yeah, there you go. See, there's still some unique questions to be asked here for Farlander Bust. I think you run out of them after 530 episodes. Still plenty to come. Plenty indeed. Let's see here. Phil, I suppose similar to our topic, talking about the old starting up the YouTube channel, whether or not it was the Combat Canyon world or this world. Phil asks, if horses had been in Minecraft when you started the Farlander Bust journey, do you think you would have started your journey with one instead of with Wolfie? Well, I didn't start with Wolfie. I got him on episode 32, which was still, I suppose, relatively now quite early in the series. I probably would have considered it. I probably would have, you know, found a horse, tamed a horse. Probably an extra speedy one with extra health. But they're kind of difficult, especially when it comes to going through the forests. You end up getting your head trapped in a bushel of leaves and taking a bunch of damage, or, you know, they can't pass through narrower than 2 blocks wide. What is this? It's like a underground house. It's got windows and everything. It's weird. How are you? I know I have an extra one here. Probably, but I don't know how long it would last. I don't know how long it would have lasted. assuming you're talking about when horses were added, sprinting was already in the game, so I might have used sprinting more frequently, but then again, I would have had to eat more frequently if the hunger bar was in the game. But yeah, I probably, and maybe, you know, maybe that would have been the companion instead of Wolfie. So yeah, I don't know what the trade-offs would have been between a wolf, you know, constantly worrying about the wolf getting stuck under ice or falling off a cliff versus constantly... I do find that riding a horse around on a vanilla server, you end up falling into ravines or giant holes that you don't realize because you're moving too fast. You know, I don't know what the trade-offs there were, but maybe I could see that as a possibility that would have happened. We will never know because we are stuck here in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3, the last. Speaking of falling off cliffs, the last version to include the Farlands, the original Farlands. Careful, Wolfie. How about you just spawn down here? Yeah. No? Oh god. Spawn. There we go. Good job. So yeah, also I would have had to have then carried around a lead and a fence post because they tend to wander. And losing a horse is kind of a permanent thing, isn't it? So, yeah. That was a good question as well. We are running out of time. And the sun is sort of slowly setting. I am slowly assembling, I suppose, programming notes. If you're worried about all this stuff happening and the sickness, as I am, impacting the amount of videos that have been coming out lately, I do apologize, but I am the great computer build of 2014, which is when the idea first happened, and is what my Newegg wishlist is named, is in full swing. I did get the case recently. I have a motherboard. I do have the GTX 970. I'm gonna see if there's any good sales. I'm thinking, no promises, but I'm thinking of just saying nuts to it and getting a 980 Ti, because I've waited so long, I might as well just go all nuts with it. But yeah, I've got that. I've got like a couple SSDs that I'm going to use for the system. I do have the power supply was recently on sale, so I have the power supply in transit. All I really need is some memory and the processor itself. And I think I'll pretty much have a complete computer. So that is going to be happening soon. Very, very soon. Thank goodness. So hopefully, after all this slowdown takes place, unfortunately, with the sickness and other stuff happening in my life, we will be up and running with 2 computers. All of your favorite non-Minecraft games will be running and perhaps even recording at a buttery smooth 1080p 60 frames a second on full graphics. Gosh, what does Dirt Rally look like on full graphics? I have no idea. You've got, all those other games to play, and Rocket League I'm not even playing on full graphics, and perhaps we'll see more. I don't know if it's more of the game, this isn't going to go away. The jitteriness in Farlands of Bust isn't going to go away, I guarantee you that, but the render distance will work a little bit better than it has been lately. And hopefully that also means, that's the goal. Ooh, that's weird. That the goal is to be able to record and then render at the same time, so that we can have more frequent, faster, consistent videos released on the channel. So I'm looking forward to that. If there's any sort of silver lining for you to look forward to, hey Wolfie, you wanna? Hey, no, I don't want you to come in here. I just want you to kind of keep a watch out, will you? And so look forward to that at least. So yeah, that is coming together. I'm quasi excited about that. But we will. I'll keep you updated on that. And I do appreciate your patience. And it seems like a lot of people at least enjoy the sick voice. Do you enjoy the sick voice? I can't even fake cough. I'd be really terrible at calling in sick to work, even though I'm not sick. I'm really sick. Listen to me, boss. Listen to my snoring. It's so much deeper and crazier, right? Oh, man. Terrible, terrible stuff. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to feeling better. And I'm looking forward to more Farlands or Busts. and other such things. Let's make another boat. Wait, I'm also looking forward to another boat here in the future, and I'm looking forward to your continued support for Child's Play charity at farlanderbus.com. We're looking for $60,000 here for Season 6, and we're just past 15%, so well on our way. I do appreciate that. Woof! I also appreciate any little likes and shares and your subscriptions if you're new, so you don't miss a future episode, or perhaps you can check out my other videos that I upload here. I do appreciate that, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the next episode on Thursday. I hope you are too. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time. Thinking of game zone game, Fred and Buster's, Frank and Buster's, Buck and Buster's, one of those. You know what I'm talking about.